one of the kind of themes of Compelling is the idea of collaboration between unobvious collaborators. So an architect designing the packaging for a beauty line. This is exactly one such collaboration. You said it was very challenging. And so I wonder, what was her approach?
We talked about materials. I brought her, the first thing was bringing Dorothée and Hugo, who is a designer who works with us, with her, was bringing them to the estate and telling them the story. My parents wrote this amazing book for the 200 years of Morose. And so really just going to the root of the project and being like, this is where everything starts. Let's be true to this DNA, but also let's bring our imprint to it and let's make it our own. And I think that's kind of the, the fil rouge behind that entrepreneurial adventure. And so, Dorothée was really inspired by, the love of the soil that we were describing. And so, all of our products, our main products are refillable, and the refill kind of looks like a soil, like it has this very organic shaped. And so we wanted to be something that was elevated, but that wasn't disconnected from the land. And something that had, something very organic to it. And every material that we've worked with, we work with 30% recycled glass. We work with aluminum refills, which are, you can infinitely recycle them. The lid was the bane of my existence. So the lid is very beautiful, and it looks like something kind of like an apothecary,
Yeah, it does. It looks like it's made of marble.
Exactly. And so the whole intention was for the lid to be to look like kind of a noble stone, like marble, but obviously not be marble because of a lot of, we didn't want to deplete natural resources because of the weight, because of how fragile it is. Economically, it's also not so easy. So for a lot of reasons, we didn't pick marble. And so the first kind of option that we had, kind of almost the only option that we had, was to say, today there's a lot of perfumes on the market with gem-like accessories and so that look like marble or this or that. And those are resins and entirely petrochemical resins. And I remember being like, this is not to our standards.
It doesn't line up.
It doesn't fit in the project, but we can't make it in real stone. It doesn't work industrially. We came to a point where I was like, I'm not sure, Dorothée, that we can make this in anything else than this resin. And at some point, you're kind of like, I can't keep funding this project forever. Like, it needs to come out. I want it to be the best it can, but where do you?
There's always some practical considerations.
Yeah, where do you draw the line?
Course.
When do you stop?
Yeah.
And I remember very clearly, I was hopping into the subway, and I called Dorothée and I said, I think we're not going to have a choice. And Dorothée tells me, literally, she goes, if you're not making this in a sustainable material, you can cross my name out of the project. Like, I will not be associated with Dix Hectares. And I started having a little tear, being like, what am I going to do? I have no idea. And it was crazy. The same day, there was, so I was scouring this kind of professional website on new materials and cosmetics packaging and so on. And this big French plastic industrial company emits this press release saying that they've just developed a new injection system out of Sulapac, which is a bioresin. So it's 90% bio-based that looks like marble. And I call our packaging engineer, Bruno, and I say, you have got to get on the phone with them immediately. Like, I think we have our solution. Yeah. And so anyway, fast forward, we ended up having a wonderful partnership with these people. They had only successfully done it on a sphere shape, and we've really brought the technology much much further into, having our whole lid made out of that. And so today we're the first one in the world, first ones to achieve that. And we're really proud of it. And I'm so happy that Dorothee kicked my butt to not let go of our North Star. And I think that was like the first piece of advice that my dad gave me when I started that project, was to say, always remember who you are and what you stand for, and never stray from that. And so that was one of those moments where I'm glad I had somebody to remind me and hold me accountable for that.
Well, that's very magnanimous of you. I mean, you've said that it was all credit to her that you had this beautiful packaging, but actually it was your vision at the outset to say, I want somebody who has that very creatively led, very strongly principled approach to be the designer of it. And so, yes, she held you accountable, but you had selected her in the first place. So I suppose that together you got to the conclusion, which is a really beautiful product.
Thank you for listening to Compelling, a podcast exploring the dynamic intersection of art, culture, and luxury. You can find out more or get in touch at thecompellingpodcast.com.